I cried and cried and cried. And I got so angry with God. And I said, you knew this was going to happen. You could have kept me.
I'm a former Detroit police officer and rode with the One Percenter Motorcycle Club. During that time, I was involved in a lot of altercations. I had a gun shoved in my face. The trigger was pulled, and I got a plate under my left eye. I'm Manny Vitale, and this is my story. How you doing, everybody? Welcome to My 5-Hour War. I'm your host, Manny Vitale, and today I have a special guest, Karol Mora, and Karol has an amazing story of just determination, and what her story is just incredible. So we're just going to let Karol, first of all, thank you for coming on.
Thank you.
Your story, as we were just talking, on so many levels is just incredible. For one, that you're still here. And as we go along here, people will figure out why I just said that. So thank you for coming on. And why don't you just tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from.
Thank you for having me. Well, I am originally from Costa Rica, and I have been living in Richfield for the past 12 years. And I have a daughter who in January of 2021 had just turned 18 in December, actually. And so I go to the gym at 4 a.m. I love to exercise, and I eat healthy. And I used to go at 5 a.m, but then I found out that the gym opened at 4. So I said, okay, I'm going to go at 4 because I believe that there are no excuses. We should work with what we have, always. So for 4 years, I went to the gym at 4 a.m. And this January 14th of 2021 was no different. The only difference is that my daughter would go with me. So I'm very strict when I work out. And I said, you have to sleep, you have to eat properly. And I always tell her, if you have a headache, because she got migraines when she was in high school, I said, don't go to the gym. So she had sent me a text the night before saying, I'm not going to go to the gym because I have a migraine. So whenever I went to the gym, I would leave the house at 4:05, 4:10, because she would delay me. This morning, since she wasn't going, I left my house at 3:58, my driveway. Now, to get to the main road, it's just 2 minutes. For 4 years, I had been going to the gym at 4 a.m. There are no cars on the road. This day, I hit the main road at 4 a.m, and it's a hill. And then I come to find out that I have been in a car accident. I, of course, had no idea of what happened. I had no idea of how injured I was. I had no idea of anything, how it happened. All I know is that first I woke up and I came to, and my head is down. I, of course, had like blood running down my face, but I had no idea of all of this. All I remember is my right hand is resting on my right leg, and I was wearing white leggings. And I have a scar here, so I see my hand is open. I can see my bone. And I'm just thinking, why am I bleeding? Why am I bleeding? And this went on and on for a while, and I would pass out and on, and I would see it. And I remember at one point saying, oh my God, why am I bleeding? Am I dreaming? And I was trying to wake up from a dream, and I couldn't. And I said, oh gosh, to wash this blood off my pants. And here is my brain trying to make sense of something that we couldn't.
I've got to clean this up.
Exactly. So then I look to my right for some reason, and I see the airbag out. And I said, oh my God, I've been in a car accident. And I passed out. And then I came to again. And that's when I first started to lift my head up. And I see a light, and I saw a silhouette, and I heard voices. And I said, I see people, I hear people. And so I turned to my left, and I looked, and I guess one of the EMTs was walking by. And when he saw me move, he just yelled, ma'am. And I just looked at him like, why is he yelling so loud? So he said, where were you going? And I don't know why my brain kind of like reacted a little feisty. And I remember thinking, where would I go at 4 in the morning, like the gym? So I said to him, to the gym, and I passed out. I was just like, where would I go? So anyway, I remember I came to a few times. I remember hearing them. Not that I opened my eyes, but I think my brain was kind of like aware. I remember hearing them cutting the car. I could feel the glass falling on me. And then I remember that they had to cut the seatbelt because I remember feeling them kind of like yanking like the. So, but I never opened my eyes. Then I'm assuming that they had to move me forward to put the board. And when they pulled me out, that's when I came to, and I didn't scream, but I remember saying, it hurts. And one of the things is that I have no memory of the accident. So as I'm coming up the hill, this kid is coming, on a flat road. And I have no memory. So I think that when he saw me, he was angry, whatever was going on in his mind, he saw me and he decided to hit me. So he hit me kind of like right on the corner of the driver. So all that corner came inside. When I came to, my steering wheel was here on this side. And they took me to the hospital and they sent me to Yale. They treated me at Danbury Hospital. And they told me that because of the severity of my injuries, they could not keep me there. They had to send me to Yale. And they sent me to Yale Hospital. At Yale Hospital, of course, they do what they have to do. And every time that they had to move me from one bed to the next, because now it hurt a lot because my injuries were, I had a brain injury. My brain was swelling and bleeding. I broke my right arm. I broke several ribs. One of the ribs punctured my left lung. I broke 3 vertebrae. I broke my coccyx. I broke my pelvic bone, broken half and detached from the spine. I broke my left tibia, and my 2 ankles. My left ankle being destroyed the most. That I've had 4 surgeries so far, and I still have to have 1 more because I have to replace my ankle. I walk normally. If people see me, they don't think that I even limp because I have to put something under my foot because whatever happened to my ankle, my arch falls.
Oh, you got orthotics that you put in your
I put
shoe?
something underneath my arch to be able to walk properly. But, I'm in pain every day. I'm in pain, whether it's my ankle or my lower back. It's, the doctors told me you're going to be in pain for the rest of your life. And, it's just that. So you learn to live with that, right? Now, I'm a person that I believe in God. And of course, when this happened, I'm in the hospital. And I couldn't understand. I had no details about the accident. I didn't know why, how. In my mind, I was thinking maybe it was that an older person fell asleep at the wheel, and because they were coming down the hill, they hit me. That's what I was reasoning. Then my daughter called me one Saturday morning and said, "Mom, there is talk on Facebook that he committed suicide. You have no idea what that did to me." I cried and cried and cried. And I got so angry with God. And I said, you knew this was going to happen. You could have kept me. Why did you not make me sleep 1 more minute? And one of the things that I went to, which I told you that my daughter, I would leave my house at 4:05 or 4:10 because my daughter would delay me. I remember saying to God, you knew this was going to happen. You knew I was going to leave 2 minutes early. Why didn't you delay me? I could have left my house at 4 in the morning. Why did you not? And I had this fight like a teenager with God. I was like, you don't even talk to me. I don't want to talk to you. And I cried and cried and cried. And then one day I was they had sent me to a rehabilitation place, and the pain was unbearable. It was just, I couldn't believe it. I said to the doctor, why, if my body is so loaded with medication, Why is it not working? Why am I in pain? And his answer was, we cannot tell you why. The only thing that we can tell you is you're going to have good days and bad days. And that's not an answer. When you are in pain, that is not an answer. You want solution for your pain? You want an answer? Why is it not working? Do I have to do something differently? And this one day, I was laying in bed, and I remember of the E.T. Movie, and there is a hand that touches.
Oh, the fingertips? Yes. Yeah.
And I remember I had that image, and I said, okay, God, fine. I'm sorry, forgive me. But can you please just extend? And this was my thought. Extend your finger and touch me just with the tip of your finger, and my pain will go away. And I was crying, and And then I said to myself, here I am, like, what arrogance? How arrogant am I that I'm here, a broken, this is what I said to myself, a broken sack of bones, and you are fighting with your creator, with God. And then I said, God, forgive me. Just please have mercy. Touch me. Just with the tip of your finger, touch me. And my pain will go away. And let me tell you that at that moment, this heat in my body just came from my legs all the way. And I cried and I cried and I said, God, thank you. And my pain was ceased at that moment.
That is absolutely beautiful. That there's people that have a lot of different views on faith, and and that's fine. I'm not going to ever try to change anyone's belief as well. I believe in God and my faith as well, and that's I love that story, and but that being said, you still have such a long way to go.
Yes.
I mean, I'm just going back now because I'm a former police officer and an EMT. I've seen these wrecks. I've treated people. And like I said before, 90-some miles an hour head on is incredible that you're here. And just the list of your injuries from head to toe, literally. You know what? Walking behind you here to the studio, there was no limp.
Yes.
Looking at you moving, and it's just such a blessing. But at the same time, the anger, and it's understandable. How long, this process you going for a broken leg, that's 6 weeks, then rehab for that. All your injuries, how long were you in the hospital?
I was at Yale Hospital for 10 days. And so I arrived on Thursday. So Thursday, January 14th was the accident at 4 a.m. I arrived at Yale that day before midday. And then on Friday, I know I was brought to the OR, because I'm assuming they were going to do something. But I remember I was out. I came to, and they had made they make those makeshift, with curtains around.
Yeah,
and I'm in a bed, yes. And on the other side of the bed, I hear somebody say, her oxygen is at 80. Her blood count is too low. She has to be sent to the OR immediately, to the ICU immediately. And I remember thinking, oh, who are they talking about? And then all of a sudden they came and moved my bed, and I said, oh, that was me. So then I get to the ICU, and there was this beautiful nurse, and I remember saying, Ellen, what happened? And she said, oh, Karol, you don't know this? And she said, sweetie, you are really injured. And I couldn't understand. My brain could not make sense of how injured I was, to the point that when I got to Danbury Hospital on that Thursday morning, they gave me somewhat of an inventory of my injuries. And they said, we cannot treat you here. Due to the severity, we have to send you to Yale Hospital. And I'm like, okay, fine. I get to Yale Hospital, and my doctor says, he comes to introduce himself, and says, "Oh, I'm Dr. So-and-so." And he says, and he starts saying things. I don't even remember what he said. All I know is that I was going to the gym. I was going to get out of there. I was going to go back to my daughter, and I was going to go back to the gym. That was my focus. That was it. So I'm laying in there. This is the first day. Now, mind, I don't know the severity of my injuries. I don't know anything. And I said to the doctor, "Doctor, one question. I go to the gym. I am hip thrusting 265 pounds. Do you think I can do that again?"
This
is me.
Your first day.
My first day. This is the day that I'm dying, right? So the doctor says to me, "Oh, you are challenging me." And, and then it's funny because the whole time the focus was God, my daughter, the gym. I need to get out of here. Now, mind that I was 120 pounds when I went. I had more muscle. I ended up leaving the hospital at 98 pounds. I had lost it all, 98 to 100 pounds. But it was just that focus. I have to go back to the gym. I'm going to build again. I am going to build again. And that was the mentality the whole time. So, for me, they sent me from Yale Hospital to a rehabilitation center. Now, you may think I'm a stubborn woman, but I am not. I'm strong. And they said, "Ms. Mora, we have to send you to a rehabilitation center." And I said, "No, I want to go home." And they're like, "Oh, no, you need to go to no, I want to go home." And I am insisting to go home. And they're like, "Oh, no." It took them 2 days to come and say, "Ms. Mora, you have to go to a rehabilitation center." Now, this is again, I am not getting the whole picture. My brain is not processing the whole picture of what has happened to me.
The severity is not.
Exactly. It's not sinking in.
Now, Karol, how many surgeries have you had?
I have had 4 so far.
Okay, so far.
Yes, because they had to put my arm together. So I have a plate and screws. So the Saturday after the accident, they did because they couldn't do anything on Friday. They did my arm and my ankle. So I broke my left fibula and tibia, and my left ankle is destroyed, which I have to have my 5th surgery because I have to replace my ankle. So they did those because they wanted to make me walk. I'm assuming in their mind is like, we need to put these ones together because she needs to get up whenever we get to her spine. So they did that on Saturday. Sunday, of course, I was in bed all day in the ICU. And Monday night, it was a 4.5-hour surgery where they had to fuse my spine. And I remember I came out of that one and my boss called me and I said, "If I didn't die on Thursday, I'm dying tonight." It took everything out of me. And I cried and cried. And my boss said, "You're not going to die. Don't worry." And I said, "I'm going to die. I am in the worst pain." But it's an exhaustion that you have no words to express. And I'm assuming it's because, especially that surgery, the spinal fusion was so invasive and my body's already so broken. And, it was just, it was just too much. And I remember that I'm in bed crying. I finally stopped crying. And I think 2 residents came to my room to tell me that I had to get up because they make you get up like just a few hours later. It's not like, "Oh, go rest." And when you feel like, no. So then they came to my room. Now, I'm not a rude person. I'm strong, I'm stern, but I'm not rude until really, really provoked. But these two residents come to my room and they said, "Ms. Mora, we want you to get up tomorrow and walk." And I know I was a little stern and I said, "You listen to me. Tomorrow you let me sleep all day. I'm exhausted. On Wednesday, I will get up and walk however long you want me to. Tomorrow you let me sleep." "Yes, ma'am." Let me tell you that Tuesday, nobody bothered me. I was in and out the whole day. I wasn't even eating. The only thing they would come to say to me is, "You need to be drinking water." So, yes, so it was the only thing. By Wednesday, of course, they bring me a walker. And it's the first day that I have to stand up after my spinal fusion. And now I don't have anything in my arm, just a plate. And I have a splint on my left ankle I fractured my right ankle. They didn't do anything with that because they're like, it's going to heal on its own. I'm assuming that was their thought. But they make you wake, get up, and I had to just, let me tell you that to sit up, it took me almost 30 minutes because I have broken ribs on both sides. Then I have the spinal fusion. The swelling in the back was such, and just to move. Finally, I get up and they brought the walker, and I was just the thought of it. I was moving in slow motion, like, it's just like, can you hurry up? And I'm just like moving. And then I stand up, and my bed was kind of like here, and the door is right there where the door is. And they're like, can you walk to the door? Now my mind is like, I need to get out of here. I need to recover. I am going to recover. And I'm crying. It hurts, but I need to get out of here. And I start taking very small steps to the door. And I look down to the nurse station. Now the nurse station is quite a ways down. And I turned back to the lady and I said, can I walk down to the nurse station? And she's like, no, that's too long for the first day. And she goes to the two guys that were there to, just in case I fell. She's like, keep an eye on her because she is going to leave the building. And it was just like that thing, every day. So then Thursday they would come and, okay, walk, you can get out and you can walk now here. And Friday was the same thing. And, they came, and by Thursday and Friday, they're like, you need to go to a rehabilitation place. And I'm like, no, I can do this. Now I saw I can walk. I'm like, I can do this. Of course I can do this. And they're like, Miss Mora, you need to go to a rehabilitation place. Now this place is from where we are now. I believe it's about an hour and a half to 2 hours from here. So I said to them, can you find me a place close to home? Because I wanted my daughter to be able to visit me because it was COVID still. At Yale Hospital, my daughter nobody could visit me. And at this rehabilitation place, my daughter was going to be able to visit me, only my daughter. So they finally, they're like, you have to go to a place. And they said, well, nobody accepted you. There are no places around you. We found you this place, which is wonderful. I was taken to a place called Gaylord. And let me tell you, I love that place. I think it's one of the best places for anybody to go for rehabilitation. And they sent me there. And this was on Saturday morning. I get there, of course, it's the weekend. There are, like, the head nurse is not there. And there is a doctor. The doctor comes and introduces himself and tells me, like, I read your story, and of course, giving me all the comforting words. And still, you have to get up. And in this place, you have to do rehabilitation for 2 hours, but it's broken in 30 minutes each, which you cannot even feel them. And 2.5 hours every day. And to me, that was a blessing because, it's just, I recovered in that mindset of, I need to get out of here. I know I'm going to be fine. I'm going to build again. It was just, and I kept telling myself, Karol, don't worry. We are going to build again. And it's just like, the muscle is gone, but it's okay. We're going to build again. We're going to build again.
I tell you, the body is an amazing thing. And while you were telling your story about, I'd never compared different things to different people as far as their feelings and all that. But you explaining the pain that you were in, I've had like 47 surgeries from my days with the police, EMS, playing hockey, and crazy stuff. My last major ones, I had 2 7-hour back surgeries where I had plates and screws put in my back. When I came out of OR, they made me walk to the bed. What you were talking about brought back memories, how you were just, the shaking, how you think.
Yeah.
And I feel you. And it's a pain that I wouldn't wish on anybody. And but I tell you what, knowing what you've gone through and just hearing, it's your determination, because so many times when I worked with people in the hospital in physical therapy, I mean, it's like pulling teeth. You got to poke that fire just to get them to sit up, to have them put their feet on the floor. But then we have the patients like you who do what you do, and your drive, a lot of it is up here.
It's all in the mind.
And working out in a gym, people think the hardest part's lifting weights. No, that's easy. Getting up every day, and going there when you don't want to go,
exactly,
and pushing yourself. But you have been that way your whole life, and that's why you're where you are now. And here you are. No. I'm going home because I'm going to the gym. You're going to ICU. Nope. I got to go wash these clothes because I got blood on my pants. I'm going to that's just insane. So, so you're at the rehab center. And so this was all during COVID.
Yes. And so that Monday, so I get there on Saturday. The Monday, the head nurse comes in. And she's like, I am so-and-so. And she said, I read your story. I am so sorry for what happened to you. And she said, this is, and I don't know why it happened this way. She says to me, how long did you see yourself here? And I'm in my wheelchair, which, by the way, I became so good at
doing wheelies.
Yes. And, I back my car in all the time, everywhere I go. So I did that with my wheelchair. I would back it in, and I became so good. So anyway, I'm sitting in my wheelchair, and she's looking at me, and I look at her, and I said, 2 weeks. Now, this is a nurse. Oh, no. With your type of injuries, we're talking about 6 weeks. And my thought is like, I cannot be here for 6 weeks. My daughter. I have to go back to my daughter. Forget about the gym now. It's my daughter, because she was calling me, crying every day. Mom, I want you to be home. I miss you. And I knew it was affecting. And she was just starting college. So it's just like, I have to be home for my daughter. So, and she said, oh, no, with your injuries, we're talking about 6 weeks. Let me tell you, I didn't say anything. I didn't want to be rude or who does she think she is? No, but I looked at her. I was quiet, but in my mind, I said, 2 weeks. And let me tell you, every day I would go in the morning, and they would make me stand up, take a few steps here. I went from the walker to the crutches, because, it's different. Now it is your body balancing with the crutches. With the walker, you have an extra 4 legs right there, right? You're 2
Yes.
And then the extra 4. This is, although you have kind of like 2, you don't have anything holding you, and you have to keep your balance. And so I'm going now, and it's okay, take a few steps. And it was hard. And when I say, oh, I kept thinking and I have to build again, let me tell you, it wasn't like I never had thoughts of negative thoughts, because I did. I cried, I got angry, I was sad. There is always the moment, why did this happen to me? Am I that bad? Did I do something that wrong in life that this had to happen to me? And it's always all of these thoughts. But then one has to choose, no, I need to get rid of these thoughts and focus on the positive things. So I would go down, and just every time. Then one day they gave me the option to go up a ramp or to go upstairs, because I had stairs where I was living. And I said, every day, whether it was in the morning or in the afternoon or whatever time they would bring me, can I go up the ramp? Can I go up the stairs? Sure, go ahead. And I was the one always asking them, can I walk longer? Can I push always pushing farther and farther. And then, I had to, because of my left ankle, they put a splint. I couldn't put weight on that ankle. So everything had to be holding on the crutches. And they were making sure that I was going to be able to go home and be as self-sufficient as possible, leaning on at least one crutch, because I couldn't put weight on that ankle.
The thing is with crutches, people, when they hear assistive devices, and I've had to show people how to walk with crutch or a walker, how you walk into it, and then the proper way to even walk with a walker. But people think that unless you've walked with crutches, how difficult it is, because if you don't pick them up far enough, you're snagging one.
Yeah.
You can fall.
And you can trip, yes.
And I've had a lot of people who try to go too fast, and that's when it happens. So now you're dealing with a broken femur, crushed ankle, everything else going on, back and everything, on crutches. And so that's amazing in itself.
Yes. And it's funny because, I had, like I said, I lost a lot of the weight, and they would bring us all in a group to do exercises. And I'm tiny anyway, I'm fun size. But then they gave me their big clothes. So it was just like the clothes looked even bigger. They gave me these huge pants that made me look even smaller. So we are sitting all in a circle. And they're like, I was on my wheelchair and somebody says, "What's your story? What happened to your leg?" Like they thought that it was just my leg. And then I didn't want it. Had not told my story to anybody. I am a person, I don't like to draw attention to myself. And then I said, "Oh, it's more than just my leg. It's my ankle's more than my ankle. What happened? Tell us." And, because it was like all of us being injured in one way or another. And when I told them, everybody, they were like, "Oh my God. We don't even know how, we cannot even explain how you're here." And I always, "It's God, it's God." So the nickname they gave me was Miracle Baby. So for everything, Miracle Baby is here. Miracle Baby, come here. So that was because I was kind of
Everybody
like.
wanted to touch you. Get
Actually,
that good vibes.
Well, they were kind of like scared to touch me because they're like, "We don't want to break you.
We don't want to hurt you." If they only knew. Trust me, you can't hurt this.
Exactly. And then the very interesting thing is because it was there when I went to this rehabilitation place that I was in my own room and I had a mirror. So I had not seen my body. I go, they give you the robe with the open back, and I do this to see myself. And I see the swelling in my back with the, everything that they did. And the bruises in my whole body, all everywhere. It was like somebody had taken me into an alley and just beaten the life out of me. My legs, everything, the bruises, the nurses didn't want to touch me. And they would give me Novocaine patches, especially for the ribs. Every night they would give me because it was so hard to sleep. I couldn't sleep on my sides because of the ribs. And it was hard to sleep on my back because of the surgery. It was just so hard. And when I saw myself, I just looked at this and I'm like, "Oh my God, I am nothing. And I cried and cried. Let me tell you, it hurts you mentally, and physically you're hurt, emotionally, and spiritually. It's just like it's just like it gets rid of you, like you become nothing. And it's just like, oh my God, I'm nothing right now. I am just a sack of broken bones. That's what I am. To me, it was, I was 44 years old at the time. To be that limited, when I was at the hospital at first, I had to have an 18-year-old come and wash my body. Do you know what that is? After you've been so independent, so strong, you go, you do your own thing, and you take pride in I'm self-sufficient, I'm independent. And then everything is taken away from you. It's so humbling.
It is such a humbling part. And I've talked to people, and a lot of what we do, a lot of the stories, I'll hear, "Why me? Why me? I've done it."
Exactly.
Why me? And you like you, why me? And one day I was thinking about it. I was just by myself. Why not me? Like here, what did I do so wrong? What in my past I've done a lot wrong, but and then I thought about it. Is why not me? Instead of looking at this negative of what did I do wrong, you know what? God knows that I can handle it.
Yes.
That old saying that He never gives you more than you can handle. It's not that I'm weak. It's not that I did something bad. It's something that I can withstand, something that others can't. That's why this happened to us.
Yeah.
And now when I look at it, and when I look at you, a saying that I have adopted now, challenge accepted. You want to mess with me? You want to mess with something? Or just give me the challenge. And in the past, I handled it differently. But now, instead of the debate, challenge accepted.
Yes.
And I see that in you.
Yes.
Carol, we're going to do this instead. No, we're not. 6 weeks. No, 2. No, challenge accepted. Yes. I just see that in you.
And I'll tell you, I pushed myself, and exactly, I entered this place. I believe it was, I think I went to this place. It was January 23rd, a Saturday. Saturday, February 6th. They said, "You are ready to go home. That's 2 weeks." And in my mind, I'm like, God, thank you. I knew it. I knew it. It was only 2 weeks. Now, not that I was strong, not that I could do it myself, because no, I still had challenges. I still had my things to do. But, and I remember I went to my boyfriend's house, and because he has one floor, I had stairs and I could not go up the stairs. So he said, "You come into my house." I went to his house reluctantly after really kind of like a fight, but I finally accepted and I went there. And I remember that one morning I was laying on the couch and I was watching something, and I saw this documentary about a serial killer. And I remember I was angry, I was hurt emotionally, mentally. And I said, God, why didn't this happen to him? It would have kept him from killing all of these women. Why did it have to happen to me? I know I'm not a good person. I know I've made mistakes. I know I've committed sins, but I've never killed anybody. Why didn't this happen? And I'm starting this fight with God again. And then when the police report comes out, I find out that it was a mentally ill young man that committed suicide. And I got so angry again. And, it's all this emotional turmoil. I need to work through this. I need to heal this. I need to know how to go through this journey, especially inside of me. And now, like I said, I believe in God. I've read the Bible. I know the Bible says I have to forgive my enemies, right? It's not I have to forgive the people that I love, because it's very easy to forgive the people that you love. Your enemies. Who are your enemies? The ones that hurt you, that do wrong to you. Do you know how hard that is?
Yes. Oh, yes.
And I remember that this is months after the police report comes out. I want to see pictures. And I need to see the pictures because I need closure. I need to see them. But I am angry. I complete fire inside. And in my mind, I'm saying, oh, I'm going to curse this guy. And I have found out that he had died. And I said, oh, he's lucky he died, because I would have come after him with all the weight of the law. And I'm festering. This happened to me, and I'm being a victim at the moment. I'm feeling a victim, and I'm like, this happened to me. I have the right to be angry and be hurt. And it's just me. It's my right. And yes, it is our right, but to a degree. So I'm looking at the pictures, and I'm going through the police report, and I see the cars are destroyed, and I'm seeing this, but I want to see him. And I'm going through the pictures like, I don't want to see these ones. I want to see. Finally, I get to his picture. Now, mind, I'm thinking, I am just going to curse at him. When I see his picture of him in the car, one, and the other one, where they had taken him out of the car and laid him on the ground in the stretcher, I just felt this motherly love. And I thought I was going to curse at him. And I just felt sorry. And I said, God, I would never want to see my child die like this. And immediately right there, I said, I have to forgive him. And at the end of that day, let me tell you, I went home. I walked into my room. I put some Christian music. I kneeled down and I cried and cried and cried. And I said, God, I forgive so and so. And I was blaming his mother too. And I said, and I forgive his mother so and so. And I said that with such meaning, I really said it, meaning like before God. I said, God, I free myself from this. I don't want to have this feeling of anger, of resentment toward him because he did this to me. No, I let it go. I forgive him. And ever since then, I have no resentment toward him. And whenever I speak about my story, there are times that I cry because it touches me more like in the spiritual part of it. But I never, ever cry because I'm sad, because I am hurt, because I have resentment. I have absolutely no resentment toward that family at all. And and I think that I move free every day, and I thank God for that because He gave me the strength to forgive him.
And you know what you said, so Carol, your story is absolutely incredible, and more so at so many different levels. Of course, the tragedy and the intensity of this accident, the intensity of your injuries, and the physical, emotional, and spiritual challenges and damage that has occurred, and you've made it through them all. And you know, sometimes the physical ones, which people think the injuries, the surgeries, the mending of broken bones and bodies, that's the hardest. Well, no, you throw a cast on, it's going to heal
Yes.
here and then here. And you know, when you were talking about going through and seeing the picture, I wasn't sure which way you were going to go when you saw that picture, but I can't, knowing you from just what we know of each other here, you could just tell what a caring person you are, especially talking with about your daughter. Everything's been your daughter above you, daughter above, you know, the accident, and seeing that, I can only imagine. Like you said it, I would never want my child to be in that position where this young man was hurting so bad that that was the only way he thought, and he died alone on that street. And
Yeah.
but for you, you know, the way that you handled this, the way that you handled every part of this, is so amazing. I mean, and look at you. I mean, you look amazing. I mean, you know, walking around, your physical, there are no disabilities. You know, it's with you, it's your ability, and it's just amazing. And I am so glad and that and honored that you came on to share this story. I mean, if there's not an uplift, if someone doesn't find motivation and drive in what your story is, then they didn't listen to it because, I mean, your determination is impeccable.
Well, for me, I gave it all to God. I think He's given me the strength. He's healed me, and I still go to the gym today at 3:30 in the morning. And remember when I told you about the hip thrusts? This just last week I did 230 pounds.
Well, you know what? We are actually more alike because we also go to the gym. Every morning. Not I'm usually there around 5:30 ish, 6 o'clock every day. So we call ourselves a breakfast club or gym rats. We're the gym rats. So we got that family that supports. So I'm sure you do. And I can only imagine people at the gym where you're a regular, the family there. You inspire them every time they see you. And,
and it hasn't been easy because the physical pain is there, but I just make myself go there, and sometimes I feel tired. I'm in pain. I don't want to make it. The winter time is the worst, but I'm like, you have to do it, Carol. Remember, you have to do it. You owe this to yourself. You have to do it. And I make myself go there.
And your mental and physical, spiritual toughness and physical toughness obviously is absolutely amazing. And again, thank you so much for sharing this with all of us. And with your story, are you on social media or do you speak? Do you do public speaking to help people?
Well, I'm going to start doing that. Like, people are telling me I should do this. And I did one small, like I spoke at the NSA here in Connecticut back in June. And I'm going to start, I have actually started a Facebook page that is separate from my personal, which is From Brokenness to Gratitude. And I also have a website that is called From Brokenness to Gratitude also, that I am going to start doing this because every time I share my story, I get a lot of feedback from people that just, it touches them. And for me, as much as I don't want to put myself out there because I'm a little shy, I say, I have to, it may inspire somebody somewhere. And that's my hope.
I'm telling you, it definitely will inspire somebody. And because there's so many people that have been in your position that maybe think that they're alone and with these feelings of anger and hatred and all of this stuff. Hearing your story is going to help so many people. And I'm just honored that you came on to share it with us.
Thank you.
Again, just before we leave, please just give them your sites one more time. So where they can follow you.
Oh, that is, so Facebook is From Brokenness to Gratitude, and the website is From Brokenness to Gratitude also.
Well, thank you so much. Karol, it's been an honor and a pleasure. And if there's anything we could do at My Fight or War to help you in any way with your journey in this, we're all in. And, with our family, we've been around. January 27th will be 2 years, and we're
Wow.
expanding. And we just this family that we have and the support. So if there's anything you need, we are definitely here for you.
Thank you so much.
So, Karol Mora, thank you so much. And for everybody else, thank you guys for another episode of My Fight or War. You can check us out on Facebook and over on YouTube at Manny Vitale, My Fight or War. Thank you, guys.